what's up, guys? Isles Girl 3 here, and I have an awesome special guest with me today. We have Off the Wall Hockey, my friend John here. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you? It's great to be on, and I think you got some pretty good news today.
Maybe not some good news for you, though, today. As you guys know, today's news was completely unexpected, especially for Islanders fans. Zdeno Chara signs a 1-year deal with the New York Islanders. He will be joining the team defensively. I know I had a bunch of my Boston fans texting me going, "Are you kidding me? No." But obviously, like, as a New York Islanders fan, and you're a really close friend of mine who's a Boston Bruins fan, I want to, hear what's your take on this? What were you shocked? Were you upset? Were you like thinking maybe it was going to happen?
I mean, personally, I was a little surprised. I thought Chara was going to retire. I didn't expect him to be back playing this season, but I also said that 2 years ago, and that didn't happen. So it seems like he wants to play forever, and he's still obviously not in his prime anymore, anywhere close to it, but he's still an effective defenseman in the right role, especially penalty killing, using his reach, using his size. And while the skating game isn't really there anymore, he's still, when you use him properly, can be an effective bottom pair type defenseman. And I think that's exactly what the Islanders have in mind for him. And obviously, they lost Nick Leddy this offseason. So that kind of opened up a spot on that back end. And looking at the Isles roster and what they have back there, I don't think he's going to play big minutes, but I think in that penalty kill, bottom pair type role, he could actually fit in nicely. Veteran guy, is going to be great in the locker room, incredible leadership qualities. Obviously, some toughness. Not that the Islanders needed any more of that. I think they're one of the toughest teams in the league, but he just adds even more of that now to that lineup. I think it's a really nice pickup. Obviously, got very low cost pickup for somebody who's going to be 45 in March. And he might pass Chris Chelios for games played in the NHL, which is unbelievable to think about. But he is climbing the ranks of all-time games played very, very quickly. And I mean, I'm happy for him. I will always love Zdeno Chara, everything he did for Boston and turning this team around that was, a bottom last place team, bottom feeder in the mid 2000s, and turned them into eventual Stanley Cup champions in 2011 and perennial playoff team ever since. So I'll always love Chara, super happy for him. I think he's going to provide a lot in a leadership and just a veteran presence to the Islanders team. Wouldn't expect big minutes or anything, but with their decor, I mean, they've got Pelech and Pulock, they've got Mayfield, they've got Dobson, who I think is going to play a huge role this year, stepping up. Andy Green is already there, is kind of a veteran guy. I think Chara is going to be very similar to what you see from Andy Green.
Yeah, I mean, when I heard the news, I was super stoked. I mean, I've been a Chara fan forever. I loved him when he was my favorite, almost my favorite Bruin next to Johnny Boychuk.
Mm-hmm.
And I really feel also like losing Johnny, he's going to be a perfect step in of that leadership role in the back. I remember seeing Johnny Boychuk a lot, yelling, creating that game plan before going up the ice. And I feel like Chara is going to be a great step in there. The projected pairings have him next to Scott Mayfield. Be just like how we have, because Pelech and Pulock aren't going to get separated. That's not happening.
Definitely
So
don't do
what you
that.
have left is Dobson and Andy Green. You're not going to put. I feel like you're not going to put Chara next to Andy Green. Like, you can't put two
No,
old men next to each other,
no,
especially with the speed of the forwards nowadays.
yes.
So there's a lot of possibilities there, but I think I see him more next to someone like Scott Mayfield.
Yeah.
And if they do stand next to each other, get this, their height is going to be Scott Mayfield 6'5", Zdeno Chara 6'9".
That is a big D pairing right there, and a very physical D pairing as well. That
No pun
if
intended.
I'm a forward, I don't want to be on the ice trying to forecheck in the offensive zone when Chara and Mayfield are on the ice.
And both very big physical players as well.
Yes,
That's going to
yes.
be a scary D pairing already with Pelech and Pulock, in my opinion. I think
Mm-hmm.
that really was the missing piece that we needed after losing Nick Leddy. So
Yep.
when I saw this news today, I just was like, I jumped up and down. I was like, I remember I looked to my mom, my brother, my dad. I was like, we got Zdeno Chara. It's fun too, like, to see him come full circle. What players do you know start their career somewhere and then end it in the same exact place. Like it's not very it's not very often.
Yeah, especially after leaving for so long.
Yeah, it's been 20, like I'll tell you now, when we drafted Zdeno Chara, I wasn't born.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
1996, we drafted Zdeno Chara, and I was not even born. My brother was
yeah.
2. I was not a thought. Chara said today in his interview, like, he had other offers, but he
Mhm.
chose to go with this organization. And for me, as a New York Islanders fan, that just it's still weird to hear.
The
It's weird.
a
And like
lot of players want to play for the Islanders now, and it wasn't like that for a long time. And now, well, that's what winning does, and that's what being a contending team does is makes people want to go there. And now you've Isles are going to be a heck of a team this year. I think they're going to be one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference without a doubt. And I love what they've built there. Obviously, I've been a huge Barry Trotz fan for ever since his Nashville days, and think he's the best coach in the league. And what he's able to get out of teams, he gets more out of teams than I think anyone else coaching in the NHL right now, as far as elevating them and getting the most out of them on a nightly basis. And this Isles team is going to be a force in the East, and I'm super excited to see it, definitely. And I think Chara just it's an upgrade over what they were probably going to have to play with, like a Sebastian Aho, not the good one in Carolina, um, Thomas Hickey or Paul Ledoux, who they just picked up. Like they were going to have some defensemen in that lineup that probably didn't belong in an NHL lineup, and now they have a not great defenseman anymore, but a once great defenseman who can still play a bottom pair role.
I was gonna ask you too, because you're talking about Barry Trotz, and you know Barry Trotz loves his defensive system. The way he's just turned around players to reach their potential, especially defensemen. You look
Yeah.
at a guy like I said, Adam Pelech. The
Yeah.
year Trotz came in, most improved player,
Hmm.
absolutely. And do you think like we just got Gustafson on like a PTO?
Yeah.
And I'm like, do you think like he can bring even out of someone like Zdeno Chara, who's been, he's a Hall of Famer. He's, beloved by so many people. He's been through this game. But do you think Barry Trotz can somehow bring more of a spark or something a little extra out of people like, Chara and stuff like that?
Yeah, definitely. And I think that the system that they play and in Barry Trotz in general, a very defensive minded coach, gets the most out of defensive players because you know the forwards are going to be back helping out. It's not like you're leaving defensemen on an island to do everything themselves back there. You know you're going to have great back checking. You're going to have wingers that come down and help out in the defensive zone. You're going to have forwards getting the puck out of the zone. They're going to have good opportunities for outlet passes. For Chara, for someone like Chara, who really the foot speed is not there anymore, it's got to be a simple game. He's got to use his reach, get the puck, and go high off glass and get the puck out of the zone. Or if you have a passing lane, get it up to a forward and get it out. Chara isn't going to be moving the puck himself,
Mhm.
but that system with all of those forwards coming back to help take such that burden off of the defenseman, and then allow them to play that simple game that a player like Zdeno Chara needs to play. And I think he's going to fit in really nicely. The same Andy Green has fit in so well with
Yes.
the Islanders. And this was a guy whose career was really kind of going downhill in New Jersey. New Jersey wasn't a very good team. And he's played, I think, excellent over the past year plus with New York. And I think it's because they have that support from the forwards, and they have that keep it simple approach. Just get the puck out of the zone. And Chara, I think, can fit in exactly the same way, where it's just play smart, veteran defensive hockey. Don't worry about anything else. Get the puck up and out as quickly as possible and let the forwards do the rest. And New York's got a great group of talented forwards now with guys like obviously Barzell, Bavillier, Anders Lee coming back. There's guys there. Brock Nelson's another very underrated player. Um, there's guys that I like a lot there that are going to make Zdeno Chara's life a lot easier.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you with that. Like the forwards helping him out back there. I think he's gonna get a lot of help defensively. He's gonna get a lot of support. That's why I like a guy like Scott Mayfield with him. Like, he may not have the feet, but Scott Mayfield would be like able to get behind him and be able to
Hmm.
support him any way he needs. So he's like Chara's got like the wingspan, and then Scott
Yes.
Mayfield's there to like clean up anywhere he needs. But also, like, I'm a little excited about Zdeno Chara a little bit offensively, setting up in the zone, because his shot from the blue line is it's a hell of a
He's
shot.
he's still got an absolute blast of a shot from back
Exactly.
there. You don't see it as much as you used to because he's not jumping up into the play as much anymore, and he's not playing on the power play like he did back in his prime in
I'm not
Boston.
expecting him on a power play, yeah, but I'm
No,
just saying,
no,
like, setting up in the zone, because we do that a lot, where we'll
yeah,
set up and we'll do our pass game. But I
yeah,
feel like Zdeno Chara, he will go for the net. He'll try to just blast it at the net like a
oh
Ryan
yeah,
Pulock, but maybe not
definitely.
hit the net.
He'll blast him on goal if he gets the opportunity to, and he still has an extremely hard shot. And it gives a lot of opportunities as well for forwards in front of the net to get deflections or to score on rebounds. And the
That's
Islanders
what
are
our
one of
boys
those
love.
teams
That's what
that
our boys love.
that's the Islanders' offense is going to the net and getting in the dirty areas in front. And a guy like Anders Lee, I think, is going to feast off of the net front opportunities that come from those shots from the point. And we've seen it with Johnny Boychuk in the past. We've seen it with Ryan Pulock, who has an absolute bomb.
Mhm.
Chara is another guy. If he's in the offensive zone and he gets that puck back at the blue line, he's not going to hesitate to just blast one on goal. And if you have forwards in front, they're going to get a lot of opportunities.
But that's what we love, is that lack of hesitation, because we have
Yep.
so much of that on this team. And it's going to be just, I feel like, refreshing to just see someone who's just going to rip it and just go
Yep.
for it, because no one's standing in front of that shot.
Yeah. No, you don't want to block that shot.
But I am just so ecstatic. And just out of curiosity, I mean, I don't, because I know you're a diehard Bruins fan. You love Zdeno Chara. I mean, he was your captain. He was the guy for your team. And honestly, I loved the Bruins because I love Zdeno Chara.
Hmm.
Did you get his Washington jersey, and would you get an Islanders Chara?
I did not get his Washington jersey.
He's thinking about
No,
it.
I'm thinking about, but I have other Islanders jerseys that I would get before Chara's. Um, but I definitely wouldn't be like, if someone was like, "Oh, you should get that," I wouldn't be like, "No, I don't like Chara anymore." But I have other Islanders jerseys on my list that I would like before Chara's. But it's definitely going to be, I don't know. It's not as weird because he played for the Capitals last year.
Yeah.
Last year was weird. Like
Yeah.
after 14 years of him being a Bruin and him just not being a Bruin anymore and wearing a different jersey, it was
Yeah.
weird. Now I think enough time has passed where it's like, okay, he's going to play other places, but um, he'll always be beloved here in Boston.
Oh,
There is no
absolutely.
doubt
And
about that.
oh, absolutely. Like,
Yeah.
he will never not be a Bruin, and just in my heart. Honestly,
Hmm.
like, I know he's an Islander, and I love that we drafted him. He's come back, but I know, like, his home is always Boston. He said one big reason that he loved, like, coming here, is that it's a short distance away from his family. Like,
Yeah.
yes, he's still away, but his family's based in Boston. It was
Yep.
said today, in the interview with him, but he's like, it's nice because it's not too far away.
Yeah.
That
Oh
makes me
yeah, I think
happy.
he's happy to play another year. I mean, this guy, he's in incredible physical shape. He's taken incredible care of his body.
Absolutely.
And it seems like he's in his mid 40s now and it
Yeah.
just doesn't seem to matter. Like he's
I mean,
still in
looking
such
younger.
good shape. Um and I think he wants to play. Like I think he loves hockey so much that he just
Said that.
wants to play until he physically can't do it anymore.
He
And he's
said
not
that
at that
today. He
point yet.
said, he's like, I still have the passion for the game.
Yep.
And he says, I still feel like I can play,
Yep.
up to the aptitude to support a team. He's like, as long as you have those two things, you can't go wrong.
Yeah.
And you know what? I love that tenacity. I love that firepower within a player like Zdeno Chara.
Mhm.
That's why he's so beloved, I think, around the league. It's because nothing will stop him
Mhm.
from doing what he loves. And, you know, the years he spent with Boston and bringing home that cup for you guys, I remember I was cheering at home watching him
Mhm.
lift it. Like, I'm really excited to, for hopefully to give him that opportunity again.
Yeah, and the Islanders are a great team for that opportunity. I mean, they've been to the conference finals back-to-back years. It's like they're right on that cusp. If there's anywhere for him to go to have a legitimate shot at the cup, I mean, the Islanders are definitely in the top 3 or 4 of that list without a doubt.
Yeah, I really hope we can give him that opportunity. And I feel like, with his love for the sport, he will drive. If like he has the opportunity, he will give everything he's got.
Oh, absolutely.
So I'm really excited. I'm good. I'm glad to get your perspective on this. It's great to see. And just like to close it up, I know we kind of you talked about it a little bit, but what is like your top things about Chara that you think are the best additions to like the New York Islanders, or what you loved when he played on the Bruins?
Just his leadership and just the way he is in the locker room, the way he is with young players, just the example that he sets as a veteran and as a leader, I think is close to unmatched around the NHL. There are great leaders around the league, but I think he's got to be near at the top of the list as far as just what he brings to a locker room
Yeah,
and just teaching everyone else in that locker room, especially the younger players, what it takes to be a professional, how to conduct yourself on and off the ice, and just the work ethic that he has was always something that was just he has a relentless work ethic, and he's always doing everything he can to be his best. And when that rubs off on the whole team, that it makes every single person on the team better. And I think, even in his, older age now where he's not a number one defenseman anymore, that is still there and that is still going to lift this team. And his presence in the locker room is going to be just something that you can't just find. It's something
yeah.
that very few players bring that presence with them, and he is absolutely one of those few players.
And I feel like, you got guys like Noah Dobson. Hopefully, you see more of Wallstrom this season,
Yep.
maybe some of Bellows. Like, those are three guys to me that will absolutely benefit from seeing someone like Zdeno Chara. And just like, and also touch on this, he's going to be at the practice with Johnny Boychuk.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
those two together, I feel like those two, their leadership qualities, I
Yep.
just feel at practice, like, will definitely rub off on this team, especially together.
And I think the biggest impact might be on Matthew Barzell. Just
Yeah.
because he is like, you look at Barzell as kind of the future of, well, not just the future, the present and the future of this team, and potentially a future captain of this team. I think what he can leave, the impact he can leave on Matthew Barzell could be really huge, at least in the leadership department.
Yeah, and honestly, he's someone to lean on, someone who's got that years of experience that
Yep.
you can just ask, like, what did you do in this type of situation?
Yep.
Things like that. I really do agree with you. I feel like he will blend nicely with Andersley. Thank you
Absolutely.
so freaking much today. Thank you so much for, coming out and talking with me from
Oh,
a
thanks for having me.
fan perspective. I loved your takes on Chara. I've learned more through you. So I thank you so much for coming and joining me.
Yeah, I really appreciate you having me on. Always great to talk with you for sure.
And guys, if you're not subscribed to Off the Wall Hockey, what are you doing? He is your Bruins guy, but he doesn't just do Bruins. He does all NHL, and he does play-by-play games. I come and I watch him. He's
Hmm.
fantastic. He's got his own merch line. I suggest checking it out. It's fantastic. But go and plug, man.
Yeah, I cover the whole NHL. I am a Bruins fan. I'm from Massachusetts, but I cover the whole league on my channel, and gonna be doing a bunch of live streams during the year this year. Super excited to have hockey coming back very, very soon. Preseason starting up in just about a week, and got season previews coming out now, doing all 32 teams. We've got a season preview video for. Haven't done the Islanders yet, so be on the lookout for the Isles one. That should be coming up soon, especially now that I think they're finally done making moves. Now they don't have any cap space left, so I think they're finally done making moves. That will be coming out here pretty soon.
All right, thanks, John, and I'll see you guys next time.